Hi everyone. The lesson I'm here to talk about today I did with a group of third graders. They were around the age range of third to fourth grade. And the ultimate goal of this lesson actually was sort of a unit for us. So the lesson that I shared was the end lesson that was our goal through this whole unit. So basically what it was it was a song that had two parts. The first part of the song, our goal was to sing all of the words and on a glockenspiel keep a steady beat with both mallets hitting at the same time. For the second part of the song, the goal was that they could hit two separate notes. They could go between hands, basically. And then just for fun, as a last part, they really loved playing drums. So our final performance was that for the first part, they would play both hands together. For the second part, they would play hands separate, but then throughout the song, someone got to keep a steady beat on a drum. So backing up a little bit, when I initially sort of introduced this whole idea, I will speak to modality first. So I just presented the first half of the song, and our goal was that we could tap our thighs at the same time and sing the whole song. So it sounded like this. Rico's Pizza Restaurant, any pizza that you want. All our pies have extra cheese. Can I take your order, please? That was our only goal for the first couple weeks, was to make sure that we could keep a steady beat, both hands at the same time, and that we could sing the song at the same time. The second thing that I will speak to is size. So as we were learning the song, I had a big screen behind me that just projected all of the words in a large font for everyone to see. And since the song was in two parts, when we were learning the first part, all of the words were in red. Later on, when I introduced the second part of the song was in blue, just so there was a clear distinction between what we already knew and the new part that we were learning. So after we had mastered the first part of the song, kind of simultaneously, in different aspects of our lesson, we introduced how to play the glockenspiel. So for my kids, also speaking to size, it was best for each student to have their own instrument. They didn't really do well with sharing, it just wasn't one of the goals that I had. And my ultimate goal was for them to keep a steady beat. And I had enough instruments and a small enough class that it was possible. So each kid got their own glockenspiel. And moving on to color, on each glockenspiel, I had placed colored stickers that showed these are the only notes that we're going to be focusing on playing. So in other aspects of the lesson, whether it was a rhythm or solfege, whatever we were doing, we would also work on just, can we play these two notes at the same time? And we talked about how we held our mallets and the correct way to hold our mallets. And again, I had a really small class, so we were able to practice together, and then I was able to go through and have each individual play by themselves. So not only did we have color on the screen behind us that showed the words, but I also had color right on the instrument, which was super helpful for them. And as they got better at playing the steady beat and knowing which notes to play, they would maybe sometimes grab an instrument that didn't have color and challenge themselves to play the notes that didn't have the stickers on them. Anyway, the second part of the song went like this. What size? What topping? What crust? Thank you for your order. So after we learned the first part of the song and we were able to keep a steady beat on our instruments, we learned the second part of the song, and the goal was that they were able to play still in their glockenspiel, alternating hands. So the last part of the lesson that I'll speak to is this idea of pacing. So for my students, like I said, we worked on this over a whole unit. So our goal was in the beginning that we just did the movements and we just focused on singing. Next, can we play the instrument as an instrument alone? We worked on that for a couple weeks. Now, can we combine the song and keep a steady beat? Can we combine the song and play alternating hands? So then our final step, which was the lesson plan that I shared, was kind of this idea of a performance. So they know the song, they know how to play the instruments, and they really loved drums. So we had three, we kind of did it as centers. So if you were part one, you were only going to sing the first part of the song and play the first part of the song, and you were keeping the steady beat. If you were part two, you sang the second part of the song, you alternated hands, and if you were part three, you got to play the drums, and you got to keep a steady beat the whole time. And then we just alternated. They got to get up, they switched parts, And by the end, they each got to have a chance playing the different parts, and they were excited that they got to put on a little performance. So thanks for listening. Hope it's helpful.